Hello, welcome, and welcome back. Today, I wanted to get into the creative flow and being in a place where the creative flow, that just life force within us that's just constantly flowing, always flows, which means we're always doing an inspired action. We're always doing those things in inspired action. And it also allows us to see when we're getting burnt out or we're getting stuck, and we have the capacity to change that. I have spent 25 years plus in a professional creative design industry. So I've worked with top brands over the years, and this was like the thing, right? We get super passionate about projects, we love them, we get bubbled up with ideas, and then we over index and we use way too much energy because we don't know when to stop. Or I know there's like real life things that happen with deadlines, but we just think that the hustle culture is the right way to go, and we push because we feel like we have to prove something, mostly to ourselves. And then we burn out, and we burn out so much that it can take months to even years to recover. And I've had this multiple times, and sometimes I had to get back up within 6 months, even though I wasn't ready. And then other times I had to take a couple years off, and I was still doing things, you're still working, but you have to replenish your energy. And when you're so burnt out, you're burnt to a crisp. You have to like reparent yourself. You have to be able to re-nurture and give like real self-care, not just, kind of the surface level of what we think of, like just eating right, getting good sleep, and maybe a couple bubble baths once in a while, which are wonderful. But that deep sense of, how do I talk to myself? How am I negotiating with myself when I'm at this crossroads and I have something that I know is on the line, but I'm tired and I'm exhausted. And I know the best thing for me right now is just to get some rest, or just to rejuvenate, walk away. I have stuck energy, I'm blocked, and that happens to all of us, every single one of us. How do I get out of that? And so I've really thought about this way that we create with our feminine and our masculine energies, or like a yin and yang, and they're not gender specific. It's just a way that we utilize labels because everything in nature has an either feminine or masculine quality to them. And so they're just really words to help describe the flow of energy. And when I really sat down to think about it, we end up blocking ourselves. Like, we're the root cause of the majority of things. And even if something has happened to us over the years, and lots of things have happened, right, to all of us, that if we could have lots of really great stories about the trials and tribulations. But the really great thing about telling that story is that you made it through and you got through it. There's this sense of, when things come up from the past, or when things just start to agitate or irritate you, what do you want to do with that energy? That's like really great energy to leverage and use. Some of the best work kind of comes out of being frustrated or angry. And when I say work, I'm so used to using that term in everything that I do, because I feel like there's, beauty to the work, that, whatever you're creating, there's like these projects that want to emerge from you. And that is, in essence, leveraging your hands, leveraging your being, and you're putting yourself to good use and you're putting yourself to work. And so this sense that when we get really excited over something, or we get really burnt out over something, we're not funneling the energy appropriately. And so there comes that crossroads where we have to have that conversation with ourselves. We have to be able to go within and decide, what's the best option for me right now? And I'll tell you that my answer in the last several years has been always to take rest, always to rejuvenate, always to walk away. If I need to take a nap, take a nap. If I need to go and do something else, and maybe just get inspired or get into this place so that I can get back to the things that I want to do, it's been useful. Or if I want to start a little creative project on the side that sometimes doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but because I needed to get something out, or I had this energy that just needed to be nothing at all and be absolutely okay, it freed my mind open to maybe something that I was stuck on over here. And so I just wanted to have a conversation, because I know a lot of you create, and I know a lot of you have really gone deep within your own spiritual journeys and your own self-development. But there's always this crossroads of, when I'm invested in something and I want to create in a certain way, the mind gets in the way, and the mind becomes these roadblocks for us, and it literally blocks the energy that we want to bring forward into the world. And it's fear-based, it's old beliefs and patterns and systems, and we can break all that down. But at the same time, whatever that past was or whatever that issue is, you have the power to change the perspective on how you want to handle it and deal with it. And that's the true like co-creator power, because you're leveraging not only your own emotions, but just even situational emotions. And you're literally like alchemizing it and turning it and doing something else with it. It's a deep practice to work on. And the first several times, it takes some time. You mentally may have like the right mindset and say the right things, but then emotionally, you're still attached to something. Well, if we can figure out how to convert that, we can continue the flow. When we figure out how to convert that into something more useful, still taking that fieriness within us or whatever that is and moving it through, like we're integrating it and we're processing it. It doesn't have to be anything overly cerebral, but just the feelings of if I can feel one way, I can feel another. If I can feel low, I can feel high. If I can feel down, I can feel up. And it's just a matter of neutralizing the energy so then I can pick it back up somewhere else. And so we're really looking at when we're flowing through life and there's all these things that we want to do, we're wanting to grasp new opportunities, we want to change a lot of stuff. There's also a time and a place to rest and rejuvenate. And I feel like that's half of the equation. And if we can normalize that amount to say that that sacred flow and that playfulness and that rest is actually the sweetest part, the best part of creation, because that's where really you're most receptive to receive those big ideas that take you even further. And you've stored up all of this reserved energy so that when you're ready to move in that yang energy and that masculine energy, you have everything in your power. You have more fuel and you have a vision, or you at least have some knowing or some sense of where you want to go. So, from someone who has had to recover from burnout multiple times over the years, take the rest, go out to go play, go do the things that you want to go do, go have fun in the process, and take the pressure off. And allow yourself to rest a little bit longer than you think you need, so that when you are focused and you're ready to do whatever it is that you're setting out to do in your life, you're going to have everything with you. And if you really truly rest, you're not guilty, you don't feel like you're obligated or you're still thinking about work, like you really can separate that. And that is a skill in itself. But when you focus on just the quality of your energy and where it's shifting and moving, and that you're always directing the flow of it, and if you're draining yourself, that you have the full capacity to lead yourself to say, it's time to bring this back. It's costing me too much of my energetic life force that I'm going to pay for later. Or if you're really in a deadline and you have to do it, know that you're going to pay for that down the road, but that's okay because it's not a lifestyle choice. It's a moment choice. It's the decision that you needed to make. So as you move through your creative projects, which is just anything that you want to build in your life, think about that flow. If you start to feel like you're burning out or you're stuck in your energy, we're just looking at if we kind of separate it objectively, if we separate what the actual issue is and it's just allow it to pass. But if we're aware that this is a moment and we don't hold on to it, to keep it safe, to keep it stuck and staying in the same position in our lives, then we can allow it to move through. We can allow it to flow because that is nature. Everything is constantly moving, everything's changing, everything's flowing. And we want to make sure that we're part of that too, even in the smallest ways. So check your energy when you're in the middle of projects and you're doing things, or the middle of life and you're in the middle of work and relationships, and that energetic exchange and where it's leading you. And are you getting replenished enough? Are you giving yourself what you need? You're the driver, you're the director of the show. Let me know in the comments how you handle your energetic flow in the creative process. When you start to feel burnt out, what do you do? How do you handle it? Or if you start to feel stuck in projects, what do you do? It'd be great to have a thread of conversation to see what else we can add to this and give people ideas. But in this sense of this energetic movement of how are you moving that energy through your body? So thank you all for being here. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.